welcome back to Eczema Phoenix, where we learn how to transform the way we live with eczema. Welcome to my fourth video in my Sherlock Your Skin series, where we learn to investigate and find the patterns we need to solve the crime of how our eczema is showing up. And so in my last video, I talked about cosmetics and how the importance of what we consume goes into our bloodstream and affects how our skin expresses imbalance based on what we consume and how it affects certain rashes. Food, really the key and the common experience with how it affects eczema is having allergies to food. Food, we truly become what we eat. That is a philosophy and an idea that is just so true, and it may sound cliche to say it, but it is just so true. It's hard not to reiterate that. And with eczema and food, what I find is that if I consume something that I'm not able to process completely, it will show up in my skin as a rash because an imbalance has been created. My toxicity level or acidity level has created inflammation because of something that is not serving my body well. And this is my body rejecting it in a very obvious way, saying, hey, stop poisoning me, stop over consuming this certain type of baked good or other meal product or other type of food product, because this is not what we need right now. And if you don't listen to me, I'm gonna keep showing you how bad it is for us to keep consuming this thing that does not deserve to be in our life. Dairy was a really hard food to let go of because it's in so many baked goods, ice cream, cake, pizza. And growing up in the United States, where I did, it was just such a part of all gatherings and so many of the idealized food products out there, the food that you constantly see on television that people eat when they're having fun or at a party or just wanting to indulge, or just things that are so full of dairy. And wow, has the milk and dairy industry really penetrated our pop culture about as much as the alcohol industry has, to normalize these foods that are not normal for us to eat at every meal or to expect. With food, I used to feel so helpless and left out and sorry for myself because I couldn't partake of certain foods that weren't serving me well. And even consuming a very little bit amount of alcohol was not good. I am a lightweight at that, and I still occasionally have like a little bit of wine here and there, but it's not something that I need to have with every meal like I used to, because it also creates a lot of inflammation and is harder for the liver to break down. So alcohol and dairy are some of the most toxic and inflammatory foods, and they will immediately create blisters on my hands, oozy rashes, bleeding, even unprovoked bleeding. Like my pores will just kind of sometimes bleed it out in certain parts because it just needs to come out. And I've learned to read that as, I have consumed something that is not serving my body well and that's not doing me any favors. And I don't feel bad about it because I never mean to do it. And food, it's like I could just talk about like food and the science of food and nutrition and the acid alkaline balance. Definitely it's important to consume high amounts of alkaline foods, leafy greens, vegetables, fruits, gentle grains, millet, certain nuts like almonds, carrots. But really, the relationship with food to eczema is a relationship that can be abusive if we know that certain foods are causing irritation and itchiness in our body and we still continue to consume them. It's kind of like playing a broken record, like maybe this time dairy won't make me feel itchy, maybe this time alcohol won't make me want to claw at my neck and bleed out. It doesn't really change. There's certain foods that might be easier to digest over time, but certain foods like dairy and alcohol are often pretty consistently irritating. If you ever somehow grow out of it, that's amazing. But I think we need to let go of the assumption that meals are normal if they contain those things all the time, because they are very inflammatory, even if you can handle them. And they might show up in different ways other than eczema. The important thing with food is that it is meant to nourish you and to make you stronger. And if it is causing an eczema flare-up and reaction, clearly your immune system is getting bogged down because of the inflammation, and you just have to kind of stop this abusive relationship with food. And you have to, instead of choosing like the really bad person or really bad food for you all the time and repeating that broken record, you've got to really start to care about yourself and your body and your skin and how it's expressing imbalances in your body. And instead choose the food that's actually going to treat you well. Choose, the good partner for you to have, the healthy partner, the healthy food that will be a partner in your health journey and make you a better, stronger person for it, and not keep leaving you with all these bloody, bruisey wounds. It's something to not feel super guilty about either, because we're not telling our body to do this. Our body is just giving us feedback based on what we're consuming about whether or not it is a good thing to continue consuming or not. Food, definitely keep acid levels low, keep inflammation low, raise up the alkaline foods to help keep your acidity levels in balance, because digestion and that whole process leans more towards creating more acidic levels as your body is breaking down foods. For the most part, most people can't go too alkaline with their diet. In any case, balance is key, and it's important to observe your body over time as you consume certain foods, especially if you start to see consistent patterns of imbalance in different ways, eczema rashes being one of them. Other things can be energy levels, can be an indicator of a food that you need to let go of. And then of course with food allergies, for me, you could take an allergy test, you can take an ALCAT test. I'll leave links to those options below. I personally don't like the traditional scratch allergy test, because it's more irritation on the skin. And then for some people, they might have so many rashes that they might not be able to have it administered for fear of irritating the skin even further. And so there's always a good old-fashioned elimination diet. And if you're going to start to cut out foods to see a difference, well, I would recommend cutting out all potential allergenic foods if you can, because that would really give you a clean plate. And then you can start to introduce certain foods one at a time, for like a week to 3 weeks, and see if you see a difference or not after having detoxed. But that can be really intense to go cold turkey. I definitely took some time to really embrace the elimination diet when I first started doing it in 2004 with my Chinese medicine doctor at the time. It definitely requires discipline, but if you can get to a place where you are truly willing to give yourself a chance, then the elimination diet can be a really effective tool for you to know very clearly whether or not certain foods are allergic for you. Everyone has a particular set of foods that they're allergic to, and something that I might not be allergic to might be something you may be allergic to, but only you would know through your own life experience, and maybe an allergy test if you take one. Can also be a great tool to help you find balance and nourishment, and can be a great partner to help you take care of yourself in a way that is truly caring for yourself, and not just trying to please other people by giving into peer pressure and eating food that's associated with holidays, the assumption that you have to partake of it to be a part of the party or the celebration. I hope that this has been insightful for you. Thank you for watching, and I look forward to seeing you in my next video about clothing and fabric. Thank you so much, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.